Time for Developing Story. Kevin Green, Senior Markets Correspondent for the Schwab Networks here with us. We're discussing Palantir, a next-gen reoccurring guest, as well as Kevin Green, of course, a next-gen recurring guest. But we like to talk Palantir on the show. It's kind of got a lot of elements that make it interesting. Cool industry it's working in, a little ominous, cool name. But also, it had some meme stock elements in years back, Kev. But today, kind of a sobering assessment from the analyst at the weighing in.
Yeah, definitely. I would kind of even say it's gotten out of that meme stock category here. It's definitely a formidable company. And we are seeing Morgan Stanley actually downgrading Palantir to underweight from equal weight with a new price target of $9. And that's actually up from $8 here. And rightfully so. The analyst is saying that the near-term optimism when it comes to the company, as far as artificial intelligence and their product cycle, compared to where the stock's valuation right now is, really does not provide investors a good risk reward in the near term. So that's really what they're calling out. They're also saying the visibility on Palantir's platform when it comes to AI and monetization still remains a little bit low, and that the government segment appears unlikely to provide an offset. And estimates already have implied that the second half of the 2023 growth story may already be priced in when it comes to a reacceleration. So just a little bit of headwinds when you're looking at the fundamental case compared to where the stock is trading right now. But as you said, there's a lot of interest in this name, and it's seen a lot of volatility. And right now it's had a really good year-to-date run. Let's see if it's going to be able to maintain its current price or maybe even bounce back to the upside, because analysts do change their assessments as the fundamentals and the macro environment changes. And once we get a little bit more of an update at the latter half of this year when it comes to AI rollouts and trying to get onboarding when it comes to Palantir, which has been a little bit slow compared to some other companies, that might change the analyst outlook. And at the end of the day, we do see these type of price changes and these upgrades and downgrades pretty much on a daily basis when it comes to the stock market, right?
No doubt, and it seems there's a couple things to consider with this one, Kev. First off, maybe the investing story in terms of the long-term investor story is a little bit longer one with this. I mean, it's a company that's very much in a growth stage, but it's maybe taking a little bit of time to get things going. As far as trading, though, the volatility is here now. I mean, this thing moves around, and that's why it gets so much volume and so much interest. But any thoughts on the chart, on the technicals here? Kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern form. That's kind of ominous as well.
It is, but when you're looking at the volume profile, it does appear that there is some support at this current level for Palantir. And I'll go back to kind of talking about the fundamentals for this company. It does have some pretty big players in this space when you're looking at the U.S. government contracts, working with the Air Force and some of those other ones, especially the exposure when it comes to the energy markets, working with Baker Hughes. I believe they have a relationship with Shell and others. I mean, it does take some time to onboard some of these big players. And I think that's really where analysts are kind of scratching their head, because we have seen this really big lead up over the last 6 months when it comes to this company and its stock price, but it's taking a little bit longer to onboard some of these bigger players. But once they expand out to some of these emerging markets, or some of these markets that are really blowing up, especially if you're looking at biopharmaceuticals, healthcare industry in itself, and once they start making their foundation in those areas, that's when we can start seeing this domino effect. But I think they're taking the right approach, which trying to target specific industries that they really do specialize in, and that's been their bread and butter. And I would not be surprised if they continue to do that and incrementally expand their market share in other areas of the marketplace.
No doubt. And as you said, strong relationship with the U.S. government. Can we think of any deeper pockets in terms of somebody potentially spend money at your business than the U.S. government? It's always good to have a strong relationship and business relationship, let's call it, with the government. But Kev, we got to leave it there. Thank you. As always, Senior Markets Correspondent for the Schwab Network, Kevin Green.